Please welcome candidate for Vice Chair for Finance, Kendall Scudder.
Hey there, Texas Democrats. Before I start, I want to take a second and thank our party staff for working so hard to put this fantastic convention together for us. My name's Kendall Scudder, and today I'm coming before you to ask for your vote to serve as our party's next Vice Chair of Finance. 32-year-olds like me, with families like mine, from hometowns like ours, we don't end up in dressing state conventions very often. See, I grew up in East Texas with lesbian mamas, and that's how you know that I know how to fight. Our family faced a lot of challenges. We were kicked out of churches and clubs and hospital rooms. And once when I was 12 years old, I was sitting on the couch with my moms watching the news. And there was a Republican legislator talking about taking kids like me out of our homes and putting us in foster care. And I asked my mom why that guy hates us so much. And her answer to me was that he hates us because he doesn't know us, but we're gonna be nice to everybody because it's hard to hate up close. My mama's a hell of a lot nicer than me. So I started knocking on doors. And for the last 20 years, I've served on every level of party leadership in this state. I look across this convention hall and I see a lifetime of Democratic family that I've made over the years. Some of you I met as a wide-eyed teenager using the last 20 bucks in my bank account, traveling around the state to start a Young Democrats chapter. I've started 50. Some of you I know from my time as the first millennial nominated for the Texas Senate, where I ran in the most conservative district in Texas, shout out Senate District 2. And I took the fight for our values to their front yard. Some of y'all I know from our fight to preserve voting rights. When I filed the criminal complaint against Ken Paxton for lying to elections officials in an effort to block his order and protect your right to vote by mail. But most of you, I know from my time on the SDEC, where I served 2 terms, served on the Finance Committee, and I spearheaded our efforts for transparency and accountability in our party. I fought to make sure we lowered the cost of van for rural candidates to eliminate that barrier for entry. I helped renegotiate contracts that saved our party hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I fought every day to make sure that our party was more bottom up and less top down. If you elect me to serve as your next Vice Chair of Finance, I'll continue that fight for transparency and accountability in our party. I'll fight to create an infrastructure reinvestment fund so that we can help rural counties invest in long-term infrastructure in their districts. And I'll do everything I can every day to make sure that this party has a grassroots army, bottom up, less top down. Some may say that my vision in this fight is a little bit too ambitious. Some say I'm a little naive. But to those people, I say, I grew up in East Texas with 2 brassy mamas that are tougher than a $2 steak. And they taught me to never walk away from a fight worth having. Texas Democrats, this fight, the fight that we have to preserve our democracy, that's the fight worth having. We have a responsibility to deliver. And if you entrust me with that great honor to serve as your Vice Chair of Finance, I will fight every day and stand on the front lines as you've seen me do for the last 20 years to raise the money and invest in our party's infrastructure in every corner of this state. My name's Kendall Scudder, and I come to you today asking for your vote to serve as your next Vice Chair of Finance for the Texas Democratic Party. Thank you, Texas Democrats. Thank you.